dear friends, first, thank you for all the ways you have supported Holy Trinity in our mission this past year. Through your prayers, your participation, and your financial support, God is doing amazing things, and I give thanks to God for each and every one of you. In this season of generosity, I would like to ask you prayerfully to increase your giving to Holy Trinity in 2018. For some of you, this may mean giving a pledge for the first time. For others, it may mean giving at the beginning of your budget instead of waiting until the end of the month. And for others, it may mean increasing your support to a tithe, 10% of your income or beyond. I hope you will take the time to ponder how God has generously blessed you and how you might respond to God's grace in your life. Now you may ask, why give to us at Holy Trinity? After all, there are so many organizations out there doing important work in the world. The reason I believe so strongly in Holy Trinity, and the reason Amy and I will be increasing our giving this next year, is that God is changing people's lives here. For it is here that God shares the good news of a grace we can never earn, a grace which Jesus freely gives us on the cross. Here, God washes us in the waters of forgiveness and feeds us with Himself in bread and wine. Here we discover God's purpose for us as we learn of God's amazing grace and share it with our neighbors. Here we support the wider church and touch the lives of people we may never meet with God's love. Listen now to some of the many ways God has changed people's lives here at Holy Trinity.
I'm Nancy Carlson, and in 1980, when I was new to Muncie, I hadn't yet sought out a church. I grew up a Lutheran in the Missouri Synod, but I hadn't attended for a long time. So I was in the radio business, and I went to Career Day at Yorktown Middle School, and they had the careers alphabetized. So I was R for radio, and right beside me was P for preacher. And it was Stan Peterson, and he introduced himself, and he said, do you have a church? And I said, oh no, I grew up Lutheran, and I drifted away from it. And he invited me to church, and that changed my life. From that day in 1980, I have been at Holy Trinity and have been having this as my church family, and I will never forget how his evangelism changed my life.
I can't say that there has been any one thing or any one story that has changed my life at Holy Trinity. But you have seen me up in front of you numerous times over the last years, and just being a part of this church community has been very, very rewarding and supporting for me. I consider Holy Trinity my family. And that's what's touched my life about being a member here, is all of you becoming my family.
Pastor Jerry O'Neill is a wonderful pastor. He is always there for us when my husband passed away last November, and also took his precious time to go to IU Indianapolis to be with me and Debbie, who really had kidney cancer, took out half of his kidney. Our congregation is so blessed to have him for our pastor. We hope to have him for many more years. God bless you, Pastor Jerry Mary Broughton.
I guess the time that changed my life the most, to begin with here at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, is when I brought my daughters for baptism. I had waited a long time to have children, and had prayed and prayed for a child. And then when we finally did receive our children, it was truly a gift from God. And bringing that child to that baptismal font for baptism was truly a grace-filled experience. There are no amount of words that can express how baptism is and how it changes the life, not only for that person, but for the people around. It also was an experience knowing that we needed the whole church to raise a child into the Christian faith. And for that, I'm very grateful that Holy Trinity was the godparents of both of my children, and that they were able to lead a very faith-filled life and upbringing here at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. So thanks to the church, not only here, but also in our wider community, in our Lutheran churches, in our camps, and even in other Christian communities that may not be Lutheran.
Since I met my wife here actually I met her in Anderson, Indiana, but I joined Holy Trinity back in 1999, I think is the year that I joined. The thing that has stuck out in my life that this church that is abundant in is their outreach program. I have always helped with the food baskets, giving to other people that are in need of things, Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter, and within our church also. So it seems like a blessing to me when you can reach out and help somebody and see the smiles on their faces as to what you get in return. Thank you.
I feel like coming to church each week really starts our week off with a peaceful and prayerful reflection to help us get the week started on the right foot.
And I feel blessed that this church has welcomed us as a family, and that Pastor Jerry remembered our names the first time we met him.
I like drinking God's blood because it helps me remember of God and time. I like in the church because we get to eat the food, and I like children's church.
Hi, I just wanted to extend my gratitude and my thankfulness to the congregation of Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, better known as my godparents, for nurturing me and supporting me throughout my many years here at the church and helping influence my call into ministry. I couldn't have done it without you guys, and it means the world to me that you guys were so influential in it. Thank you.
Greetings, sisters and brothers. I am so happy to share a few thoughts with you about the ways in which you and I and so many other people are church together. One of the ways that we're church together is through the mission support that you share as a congregation with the Synod, and the Synod then shares part of that with the national church. Through that mission support, hundreds, thousands of lives are changed through campus ministry, through global mission, through the ministry of Synod staff, through all sorts of things that would never be able to happen if you are not partnering with us as church together for the sake of the gospel. Thank you for that support. Another way that you engage that mission with us as church together is through your own pastor, Jerry O'Neill, who works part of his time as the director for stewardship and mission support for the Synod. We have seen congregational life changed in many places because of Jerry's ministry. That's another way that you graciously and energetically are church together with us and with sisters and brothers all over this Synod who are blessed by Jerry's ministry. So thank you for that, and for the other ways that you partner with the wider church as church together through work on committees, involvement with conference events, and perhaps most importantly, through your prayers. For me as your bishop, for the Synod staff, for your sisters and brothers in congregations around the Synod, and even our sisters and brothers in Chile and Indonesia in our companion churches. Those prayers make a difference right along with the dollars and the fellowship and partnership and ministry. Thank you for that.
Truly, God is at work in each of you. Thank you for your generous support, and may God continue to bless you in the year ahead.